Tony and I absolutely loved our Archer, but we were starting to outgrow it. It was a little bit small and couldn't fit all of our family and friends. It couldn't fly very far, and it definitely couldn't get there very fast. So we decided to buy a new plane. The first thing you want to do when looking for an airplane is defining your mission. What is it you want the plane to do? How many seats does it need? How far does it need to go? Does it need to go fast? Do you want retractable landing gear? How much horsepower? All of these are questions you need to answer before you start your search. Tony and I decided that we wanted something that could fit a lot of people and can fly fast. While we do one day want to get into a multi-engine aircraft, we decided this wasn't the time and stuck with single engine. We considered the Beechcraft Bonanza, the Cessna 210, Piper Saratoga, Piper Cherokee 6, and the Piper Lance. We started out looking at the Beechcraft Bonanza. While this plane is very attractive and has a lot of ramp appeal, it didn't have enough useful load and just was too expensive to justify the cost. We also considered the Cessna 210, but decided it was ultimately too expensive. Plus, who wants a high wing anyway? Next up was the Saratoga. This was very close to what we were looking for. It has a super high useful load, looks really good, can seat 6 people, and is really fast. But with all those specs, it comes at a pretty high cost. So next we considered the Cherokee 6. The Cherokee 6 is pretty much a big boy Archer. It fits 6 people and comes in a 260 and a 300 horsepower version. It doesn't have retractable landing gear, so the added drag takes your speed down quite a bit. In the end, we decided that it wasn't enough of an upgrade from the Archer. Now that brings us to the Piper Lance. The Piper Lance is the predecessor to the Saratoga. They started out making it with a straight tail and eventually went to a T-tail design. After 2 years, a lot of pilots complained about the lack of elevator authority at low speeds, so Piper reverted back to the straight tail design. In 1980, Piper started calling this line the Saratoga, and they added a few bells and whistles to make it nicer. So me and Tony started thinking, the Piper Lance is pretty much the Piper Saratoga. It's just as fast, has just as much useful load, if not more in some cases. Plus, since some people were cautious about the T-tail, it actually sells for a lot less than the Saratoga does. So we decided that this plane ticked all of our boxes. It's fast, relatively cheap, and has a super high useful load. After asking around a little bit, we found a Lance for sale only an hour away from our home airport. Plus, it was at the same airfield that our Avionics shop was at. This was super attractive because that means that our own A&P could do the pre-buy.
Going to the hangar where our pre-buy is supposed to be happening on the Lance. Hopefully the mechanic's there. Got a bottle of Lance to get them, ride them.
Once we got to the airfield, our mechanic started looking over everything super carefully. He checked on the whole airframe, looked at the avionics, and even did some compression tests on the engine. We found a few minor issues, but nothing that we considered serious enough to make us back away from the deal. We even meticulously combed through the logs to make sure there wasn't anything fishy. We checked for any sketchy repairs and made sure that the engine and airframe hours matched what the seller had told us. Once we were all convinced that everything looked good, he and Tony took the plane out of the hangar, started her up, and made sure the engine ran smoothly and was making full power.
All right, Tony, what's the opinion? Tom, what are you thinking?
Sounds good.
We were super happy with how everything looked, so we decided to pull the trigger. We planned to get all of our financing in order over the next few weeks and return once we were ready to close.
Picking up the Lance, yo! Hey, get out of my face.
Hey, dude. See how it is? See how we are?
Get out of my face. Tony, we've just received the bank's wire and their security agreement. We need all parties to authorize closing. Sweet. To close, baby. I won't do that. Sexual harassment. Woo! All right, Lance is ours. Here she is. Bank wired the money. Seller has it. We got the keys. You know how many keys we got? 1, 2, all the keys. So now it's going to the Avionics shop Wednesday to get an ADS-B in and out transponder. And then we're on the list for our full upgrade, which is happening in March. And then probably next Friday, about a week or so, we're gonna fly it out of here with my instructor, get some time on it. And a lot of content coming, y'all. We are pumped, aren't we, Matthew?
You got so pumped.
Now the plane is finally ours, but we can't fly it home yet because we don't have the minimum amount of hours required by insurance. So we tucked her back in the hangar and made a plan to get her home. A few days later, we met up with our instructor, Dennis, to pick up the plane. The plan was to fly a local flight school's Piper Arrow to Greenwood, where Tony and Dennis would hop into the Lance. Then I would follow Tony and Dennis in the Arrow to Pickens to our mechanic shop. We would leave the plane there for a few days for annual and to address a few of the small issues we found during the pre-buy.
All right, y'all, we made it to Greenwood. We're gonna head northwest and go to LQK, Pickens.
Greenwood County lands 304908, taking runway 27 for departure to the northwest. Just the aileron into the wind pit. Alright, airspeed's alive. Airspeed's alive, engine instruments all in the green. There's 170, gonna bring her back a bit. Greenwood County, we gonna do the gear up. Gear coming up. Greenwood County, Air 496 is taking runway 27 departing northwest. Hey, Matt, you on here?
Yeah, I'm up. How's everything going?
Pretty good, man. Everything's in the green. I keep the nose up. That's going to help you slow down. Pretty green? Cool. Well then, like flaps. Pretty green, prop full. Holy balls. Yeah, bring it down. Clear it out, yeah. Oh, dude. Dude. Lord have mercy. Gee.
All right, y'all, made it. There's the Arrow. There's the Lance, all safe and sound. That's what I'd like to hear.
After a few days, we started to get antsy about seeing our new plane, so we decided to stop by for a visit. Automated weather observation.
Backing up.
My daddy taught me good.
Do you believe in life after life? Right.
Yeah.
We're Pickens County. We're gonna go see what's going on with the Lance. Lady Lancelot. What are we saying?
I don't know.
Yeah, I want to check on the Lance. Hopefully Brian has the annual all wrapped up. Got the weeping rivet taken care of. Landing gear taken care of. And we're gonna fly it out of here, maybe a little bit soon.
He had already sealed up the right fuel tank, which was leaking from one of the rivets below it. But we were just in time to see him perform some gear swing tests to make sure everything was good with maybe the most important hydraulic system on the plane. With the annual out of the way, it was time to take the plane back to Greenwood for avionics. Just like our previous plane, the Piper Archer, we had big plans for the panel for this plane. We still didn't have enough hours on the plane to fly it alone, so another instructor friend of ours, Joshua, helped us to get the plane moved. While we waited at the airport, me and Tony had to figure out a way to entertain ourselves.
Hey, Tony, you trying to climb up that beacon tower?
Yeah. I'm John Michael. I'm here in the Lost Woods of Greenwood County Airport.
I'm John Michael.
lush forest of Warwick, New York. Ow!
We're waiting for T-Rex to get here. 9 miles out, probably about 3 miles out now. There she is! Oh!
Lied.
Land 304 2 miles to the north, northwest, and bound across midfield, enter the left downwind for runway 3 west.
Roger, roger, Hey, Joshua, you're good to taxi straight to the avionics shop. No need to park here. All right, here she is. Joshua just brought it here. But yeah, let's do a quick little tour. Paint is in pretty great condition. Mid-time engine, about 1,100 hours since overhaul. The plane also has some of the Knots to You wingtips, the speed mods. So we have the landing light and taxi light on each wing. We also have some of the gap seals underneath the flaps and ailerons, so it's not exposed here. Yeah, so let's take a look at the inside. Still have a little bit of cleaning to do, but leather interior. We got the center console still here, looking pretty clean.
All right, let's take it around to the inside and we'll show you what we plan on doing with the avionics package. Everything in the here in the cockpit is pretty standard. There is an old legacy Ultimatic 3C autopilot installed, but there's a couple of issues with it. It doesn't really hold altitude very well, which is totally fine because one of the very first things we're planning on doing is installing 2 Garmin G5s right here, and that's gonna feed the Garmin GFC 500 autopilot. We're actually gonna even get rid of the suction meter because we're actually pulling the vacuum pump because we're gonna have 2 of those G5s and there's not gonna be any need for our vacuum pump anymore. All of the attitude will be driven digitally instead of with the vacuum system. And the other thing we have here is the older Garmin GNS 530 WAS. That's also a really good GPS, so we're not gonna replace that right away, but eventually we do plan on replacing it with a Garmin 650. And this will probably just move over and become our secondary nav comm radio. It's gonna be very cool. We're super excited. We absolutely cannot wait to get this thing flying cross country. Woo! Woo!
Now that the Lance is in avionics for a few months, it was back to more waiting. It was really hard to stay away from the airport, so we stopped by every few weeks just to make sure the guys were doing a good job. Tons of stuff came out, including a bunch of old unneeded radios, but most importantly, the entire vacuum system. After several months of waiting, we finally got the call that she was ready to go.
All right, so I'm here at the airport. I'm going to fly 7 Whiskey Alpha, Cessna 172 to the airport and drop it off. I need to pedostatic check, doing a buddy a favor. And then from there, gonna bring the Lance home. All right, y'all, there she is, ready to go. Can't wait to try this thing out.
After a few final touches, she was finally ready to fly.
All right, y'all, here we go. The new G5s are in. The new autopilot is in. New JPI 900 engine monitoring is in. Oh my gosh, and we are getting ready to test it all out here. Hope everything goes well. Greenwood County traffic, Lance 30498 is departing runway 27 to the north of Greenwood. All right, feeling good, y'all. Let's go. Heels to the floor.
Greenwood, good jet 788.
Challenger
lining up runway 27, Greenwood.
All right, looking for 70s, 75-ish to rotate. There it is, pull it back. All right, gears coming up. All right, pump on that autopilot, see what happens. Autopilot's on, hands off. It's gonna climb out at 105 knots to that heading bug, so let's turn that heading bug a little bit actually. All right, it's trying to hold 105 knots for me here. Man, the plane's flying on its own. How bananas is this? All right, y'all, here we go. We have the autopilot engaged, heading mode, and climbing out at 105 knots till we hit 4,500 feet, y'all.
Wow. Greenwood Tower, lands 304908, is 12 miles to the south, information to Whiskey, full stop.
Number 304908, Greenville Tower, squawk 0124. I-4 services terminated, squawk and maintain VFR.
Greenwood Tower, lands 304908, is midfield.
Number 4908, runway 19 short and good land.
Clear land short and 19er for 304908.
Number 2 Foxtrot Sierra, you're headed towards GSP. I need you to make a left turn northbound.
Left turn northbound, 2 Foxtrot Sierra.
I actually need you to turn left northwestbound, 2 Foxtrot Sierra, and I need you to stay below Greer's Class Charlie airspace.
Stay below Greer's Class Charlie airspace and make your turn to the northwest, 2 Foxtrot Sierra.
Ooh, this one's making it work a little bit.
Number 2 Foxtrot Sierra, do you have Greenville Downtown Airport in sight?
Oh, that was a rough landing, guys.
I have Greenville
That one is
Downtown
not my
Airport in
best.
sight, 2 Foxtrot Sierra.
But it's okay. It happens. It happens.
Number 4908, where are you parking?
South ramp.
Number 4908, turn right off 3 South Ramp.
All right, y'all. Made it back to Greenville. Everything's looking good. Avionics did super well. Really exciting, man. Everything, autopilot held really well. It was really bumpy and still, like heading mode, nav mode, everything was just killing it. So, very nice. Now that the Lance was back from Avionics, we decided to take a little trip to Georgetown on the coast to stretch out our wings.
All right, now we got a big announcement coming from the bro pilots. We're actually here in Georgetown to pick up my new bird. Ladies and gentlemen, please make yourself known. The Aerostar 601P. Pressurized, fast as balls. Got the winglets, come on. Woo! Also, just kidding. I wish this was our plane. Look at this.
Looking good.
Dude, I love these freaking keys, man. Yeah, huge shout out to aircraft security for providing the locks on this bad boy. Normally locks on these old planes are total garbage, but these custom made, custom fit, locks every damn time, unlocks every damn time. Perfect, man, I love them.
Yeah, it feels super tight in the cylinder. It's real nice.
We're tight.
What do you guys think? Did we make the right choice or should we have gone to something different? Make sure to let us know in the comments. We are super happy with how the Lance turned out, but we do still plan on making more improvements. So if you're interested in following that, make sure to subscribe and ring that bell for notifications. Thanks for watching, y'all, and as always, we'll see you up there.